Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. I'm Jessica, and this is my 5-acre modern homestead in South Central Alaska. We are outside today, late April, and we are going to start doing some garden prep. I have to move a greenhouse. I may move just one in this video, and in order to do that, we've got to do a bunch of prep, and I thought I'd fill you in everything you could expect to garden South Central Alaska, late April of any given year. This is the garden. Right now it's covered in a heavy black plastic. We did that because of the potential eruption from Mount Spur, which is a volcano. And we thought to ourselves, as they were looking at the volcano at the time, if it erupted at any given time, that we would get so much ash on the garden that we wouldn't have covered this. So my husband and I went ahead and covered it and said all along, worst case scenario is it will just heat the ground underneath it a little non-organically. So instead of it just coming up to temperature as it would with the outdoor conditions, when you put like a heavy black plastic on it, it absorbs the sun and it causes the ground to heat just a little bit faster than it normally would. With all that said, they've lowered the risk of the volcano. Thank the Lord. We don't need the volcano. We don't want it. I don't care how much time and attention that it would give a YouTube channel. I don't want that for my animals, my homestead, my garden, my life, although we know that we're still at risk of it happening. So I'm not going to be uncovering the garden, but I was out here just kind of checking on things. Right here, we did uncover the garlic, and nothing is popping up, which is great. The reason I had to uncover that with the plastic is anywhere this black plastic is, you can use it for weed suppression. You can use it to kill out grass, something like that. And I just did not need the garlic being killed that we planted last fall. And it'll be one of the first things that pops up out of the ground. But everything is defrosted underneath. We're coming along really well. Last year we got these 2 greenhouses, and something that I can do if I can get to it this week is I can start planting out the sweet peas and get an early flowers going on. However, we had issues with this greenhouse. I think it's due to the tree canopies and the coverage that we get from the forest. It just never got as warm as the greenhouse right behind it. We had bug issues. We didn't get the growth that we thought we would get out of it. And so what we're thinking of doing now, because we keep going back and forth, is I think I'll leave this one set where it's at. I didn't really have issues with it so much. And I want to move the other greenhouse right here. My only issue with moving it there is it blocks my view to our little cow. This is Peaches. Peaches is due any day, any second of any day now. We are waiting on her first calf, which is coming. Hi, Peach. And she is super, super bagged up. She's a little milk cow. We are going to be able to have home milk for the first time. So pretty exciting, but what I think we need to do is start cleaning up. I need to clean out that greenhouse down there, and I think we should move it just the one greenhouse right here where we're at, and I think it'll get a whole lot more sun in the summertime. We want to build like a permanent greenhouse structure, and we wanted to do that this summer, and because we had so many issues, we thought, no, until we figure out placement and how to really work with the greenhouses, it's silly to invest in a permanent structure until you really know what you're doing. So right now they face north and south. So we'll have one that will face north-south, and then this one will face east-west. Let's take a look inside. This greenhouse did much better than the other one. That was tomatillos in the middle, tomatoes along the side. We built these 2 benches in here, and originally we had some vining things like pumpkins and squash and so on in here. Did not do well inside. Don't grow those inside. Learn that. And then we moved up the pepper plants. The pepper plants in here we did not have a bug issue with, and they doubled in size plant wise over what was in the other greenhouse. Hi, Birdie. Even the tomatoes in this greenhouse did not get as big as the others, and obviously we had something, whether it's a rabbit or something came and dug. Anywho, here are the pepper plants along the outside, half the size of what we got in the other greenhouse. Tons and tons of bug issues, and so this is the greenhouse that I've got to get cleaned out, figure some stuff out. We also desire to reuse a lot of the soil, and so I may start moving some of it down into the basement. So that's kind of an overview of the projects. I'm gonna do some seed checking on my seed starts, and I may start moving stuff outside. I think I'm gonna move a rack outside and then start hardening off, and that is insane. But the evenings are above freezing at this point in the next 10-day forecast. Our guaranteed plant out is actually the last week of May. However, days are in the 50s. We didn't get snow coverage like we normally do, and so everything seems to just be happening really, really early this year. My basement is where my seed starts are, and they are insane. It is. So I'm out of lights, and so this middle one, look at that. That just popped up. Holy cow. The tomatoes are now busting through the top, so we need to start getting them put in much bigger. They're already ready to upplant. These are the tomatillos. Oh, even the peppers. Look at those. So I left over there the tomatoes and the peppers. They cannot handle 50 degrees. They can't handle our outside temperatures right now. But all the rest of these can start hardening off. I just gotta squish my way out, and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I've just rolled them into the sun. They'll get full sun. The sun is right there, see it in my face? And then I just moved a bunch of them outside to start hardening those off as well. So, okay, back to the greenhouses to get work on those. Oh, look through the window. Can you see those? Look at that. Those are hanging baskets. Oh my gosh! I already have some starting to flower. Look at these. Look at these little flowers. Coming early. That's the goal. Okay, so seed starts look amazing. So that is so exciting. And then right here, the tomatillos, the tomatoes, and the peppers cannot, we would start stunting their growth. They cannot handle 50 degrees. So we're gonna leave them in there under the lights and in the heat. And then they are the reason we have greenhouses. So far I've gotten one greenhouse cleaned out, and now I'm gonna rake it, deal with a couple of my things here, but I have it all ready. I'm gonna try and refresh the soil, so add a little bit of additional compost when we plant out the grow bags. But I spent so much money, so all of this soil I had brought in, like it didn't just come out of the dirt here. It is actually a compost garden mix that we get from a local organic compost company. And because it costs so much, I want to try and reuse some of it because we didn't get the full growth that we had expected. And so I just stacked all of that right here. And I think what I'm gonna end up doing is like kind of dumping them into a wheelbarrow, adding some fresh compost to them, pull out any like big clumps of roots, anything like that, and then adding like some fresh fertilizer into them, and then redoing the bags. But again, we're not doing as many plants in the greenhouse as we did last year, so that should work. But look, I got it all cleaned up. Now we're gonna rake it and get it ready, because it will be awesome to have one greenhouse completely ready to go. It is so warm in here. I've had to roll up the door because I'm sweating. So the plants are gonna be able to get out here fairly quickly. Well, I've done it. I've officially cleaned out both of the greenhouses. And then any extra soil, I have been just putting it over here on the raspberries. Kind of building up that patch a little bit. I'm gonna rake this. This one doesn't matter too terribly much because we'll do some groundwork after we move it, of course. But yes, it is now officially cleaned out and ready to move. It is amazing what getting started 4 weeks early feels like. With the seed starts so cleaned out, raked, everything. Because of the high moisture, everything's melting off, all that fun stuff. A lot of the moisture comes up from out of the ground. I went ahead and opened both sides, and I'm just gonna leave it because I don't have anything in the greenhouses, and maybe it'll help with some of the mold and things. I also opened that one down there, and then we started raking and cleaning the spaces around the greenhouses as well. So got a wheelbarrow full of stuff here, and we'll just continue on. That was several hours of work right there, but man, I can just tell you, in August, when we just zipped it up and said goodbye, I felt this pressure like I needed to clean everything out and do it then in the fall. I didn't. It was fine. Here we are, spring, and everything is absolutely, sorry, spilling stuff. Everything is absolutely all right. That we didn't do it in the fall. It waited, and now I am super early getting the jump start because life changes. You never know what's gonna come. Get done what you can when you can, and then it's not so overwhelming when life takes a turn. But whew, man, that is like a weight. I cannot tell you. It is a weight off. I got distracted by chores. I think I'm gonna go in for the night. This is how many eggs I got today. So I have a bunch of cleanup I think I'm gonna do right along here tomorrow, and then I'm gonna take the pots in and start putting flowers in them tomorrow. So I think that'll be great. And then I need to plant tomatoes and peppers. So, but the wind off the lake is super cold. So I'm gonna head inside. Well, I have already had a super full day. I just went in and had some lunch. Aaron's actually working from home today, but I went to the branded tack feed store such to finish out my birthing kit for our little cow peaches. And then I started working. I got all the plants. They are back outside, the seedlings, hardening off. It is so warm. It is so nice out. And so I started cleaning up these areas, cut back the hydrangeas. There's so much green in the stems. So obviously they have survived winter. Started cleaning out the strawberry patch, and then like took after this area back here. And what is happening, I'm trying to clean all this up so that we can start getting all this prepared for in the future, and it'll kind of be like a rolling garden flower bed and so on. But we're just doing some prep work, all of that because I was going to fertilize the berries. So some berry tone for the strawberry bed, and then I have some tone for the hydrangeas here. They're not starting to bloom, so we're totally good waiting on that. So that's what I'm gonna do now that I took after a tree. Aaron's got to cut down a dead tree and started cleaning up some forest area. But all right, let's fertilize. So we just have the soil acidifier for hydrangeas. All my hydrangeas are supposed to be in the blue family, so that all depends on your soil. You can actually change colors over time. But we'll go ahead and just fertilize these. Completely random and unplanned. I went in and I asked Aaron, I said, can we just go get the wood chipper for the weekend? And he made a phone call and they said, we close in 30 minutes, but it's available. So him and I just ran and grabbed the wood chipper because I need wood chips to finish out these garden areas. And we have been working on this pile over here. All of this needs to be chipped. Chip, 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 chiroo. Some more here. That's good wood. But yeah, so now we have the wood chipper for the weekend. Hi, happy dog. got a stick? Your brother got the stick? He's got a stick? Are you starting over there? Or
right there, we're gonna blow them right here, make you a pile so you can access it.
love it. Love it! This man knows me too well. All set up. Last year Aaron put all these attachments, he welded them onto the bucket and it never quite made sense, but he put this hitch on here so that he can move stuff around the yard, and I did not know how handy all of that was going to be. So we're gonna get going on the wood chips. I think I'm gonna lay out a tarp here. He cleared a spot for me, but everything you see here is gonna get leveled in order to put the shop, and I know I've talked about that on the channel before, but I want these wood chips. I need them desperately for the garden, walkways, building pathways, all that different stuff. And so I don't want to lose it into the dirt. And because all this is going to get moved and leveled, I really don't want to mix it all in. He's also grabbing us some earplugs and some safety stuff, but I got my apron on so I'm not destroying my clothes. Got some gloves. We're gonna get ready to go. Alright, I thought I'd take a quick breather. This is hard work. So I got this area totally cleaned up, working everything that way. Aaron's now taking what can't go through the chipper down to the burn pile. I left all these, believe it or not, these are wild roses, and they are all budded up, and it's super easy to tell where the wild roses are, and then the alders that just poke up everywhere. So I think kind of from this angle I can show you. So we're gonna get rid of this wood pile. This will become firewood, and then clean up behind the woodshed and the garden. This is where the vast majority of the wood chips will go, and we're gonna level the ground out this year with wood chips. The next year we'll do cardboard and compost, and then we'll plant out like a shade loving ground cover that you can walk on, and just kind of tidy all this up. And then you spin it around and it goes towards the cows area, which is going to be totally increased as well. Then we have the garden. We'll do pathways with wood chips in the garden, but the main area is right here. We want to get as many wood chips as we can to try and level this massive area. And then all this cleaned up, we think to that evergreen there. So all these trees back here are staying, and that evergreen. Everything on this side in front of that is gonna get leveled out for the shop, like I said. But we've got plenty to work with right here. And then if I could get this whole area cleaned up, oh my gosh, it'll look beautiful. So this is the natural forest. This land has not been disturbed, and what you see happening is it's just totally uneven, so it makes it hard to kind of walk through. Most of the forest will just be left natural forest, but anything that we're walking through and dealing with, that's where we're gonna work on leveling and growing and planting and making this like a really, really beautiful area. Because we'll be at where I'm staying right now, we'll be looking at the back of the shop, but nonetheless, I think we could totally make it really, really beautiful. Hardest working man alive. Just spare of the moment, you guys. I said, can we please go get the wood chipper? And he went and did this for me. And so he is just laboring away, trying to help me get as much of this done, and then as many wood chips as I can for these areas that I want to work on. Can y'all believe this? It almost makes me emotional. We have been cleaning tons and tons of trash, metal, wood, everything out of this space for years. Look at my wood chip pile. That is massive. We're over here. We have 3 piles. So I was walking over here and shut off. What we have are, there's 3 piles of trees from when we did the original clearing. One is over there by Peaches, you can see it. One of them's right here at the end of the driveway. There are some huge logs in there that we can totally use as really good firewood. And then there's one behind the barn. So what we're doing is grabbing with the Mini X all the stuff that we can run through the chipper, and then just piling the wood that needs to be turned into firewood. So we're making a really neat stack that we will deal with later. But right now, anything we can make wood chips with, we're going to. But look at this, holy cow. Woohoo! Slowly, 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 working our way this way, getting all this cleaned up. Then we're gonna stack this pile here, take anything out of there that we can chip. Keep on a-trucking. We are almost done with this pile. We have 20 minutes and then we have to leave to take that back. So we just want to make sure there's nothing good through here that needs to be wood chipped, and we are going to be done for today. But yeah, we've almost got this. We're making a nice stack over there of wood, firewood. a stack of stuff that needs to be burned, and then whatever's left goes through the chipper. Got a lot done today, huh? Got a lot done. Good job. That stump over there was horrific to get out, but we have free rocks everywhere. Erin just picked up one right there. There we go. So kind of can build little borders with the rocks. So we try and save them to the side. Throwing all these rocks underneath here, and then try to use the tractor to level this out before we use the wood chips. We are trying to leave all these wild roses. There's no reason other than I think it's the biggest patch of them that I have. They're super healthy and they're so beautiful. So I'm trying to save those, but there's a stump next to them and I told Erin if they have to go, they have to go. They just, we'll see. I think I'm gonna work on this area. There's a huge moose right there. It's not moving. The big brown blob over there. I don't know if I showed it yet, so I wanted to show you kind of what we did to this corner and why. So there is the garden fence, and this was like clear over here, making it real narrow. And so by moving all this, we just super open this corner. And then as he kind of drags, then we clean up and get all this going. This area will be much easier to maneuver, like the tractor, and it'll just be so nice this spring and summer to have all this cleaned up. And then I walk through those trees to get to the pen all winter long, all summer long, for whatever reason. That is my natural path that I take, and so that's why I'm putting so much time and attention on the back side of that building. But not only that, it's your view from the garden. And so all of that we have worked on for 2 years is going to be done in the next week or so. So I'm just gonna love having that area totally cleaned up. We are trying to wrap up. I got all this out of here. He helped me move that counterweight. I'm not gonna move the windows. We have to restain this summer. When we go to do that, I'll move the windows out of the way. I want those for like a little greenhouse thing, or I want to use them in the garden. However, Aaron's gonna do a little bit of draggy drag, and we are just gonna end it for now with that. Thank you for joining me. We worked ourselves into the ground, physically painful almost every single night, especially moving all those bags out of the greenhouse. I felt like I had like torn my chest muscle, but anywho, Aaron, so thankful for him. He is such a huge help. And then this area, I cannot believe it. If you've been following for any amount of time, you know that this is a huge, massive amount of cleanup and work that we actually accomplished. And then we are able to do everything almost a month early from last year and the years previous, because we didn't have the snow. So with that, it has been a fantastic week on the homestead. Waiting on baby. I'll keep you updated as soon as Peaches gives birth. I'll pop out and let everyone know. And with that, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being part of the channel. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, you'll get notification. Thumbs up, comment, sharing the videos, all that helps our channel to grow. And I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you have a fantastic, productive week ahead of you. And I hope that you will return to see another video. We'll see you in the next one.
Mm-hmm.